Hello Year 9 pupils and parents, a very warm welcome to the Year 9 option process, and this is the start of a very important journey where you will be making choices for the subjects that you study at Year 10 and 11 starting in September 2021, and then the journey through Year 10 and 11 which will hopefully take you on to some really exciting pathways, and that many of you will be staying here in our sixth form to build on the foundations of GCSE and go forward with very ambitious hopes and dreams. I'm going to hand over to Ms Gite now, who's just going to talk you through the next couple of slides.
Hello parents, carers and pupils too. It is now time to consider choices for Key Stage 4 where pupils need to maximise their potential. Year 9 pupils will complete their GCSEs in 2023. Most GCSEs and qualifications are assessed by examination at the end of the course. However, there are a few subjects that may have internal assessments, formerly known as coursework. Pupils will need to choose optional subjects to sit alongside their core subjects. This will ensure pupils finish the secondary school experience well equipped for post-16. At the end of Year 11, the majority of pupils will gain a minimum of 9 qualifications. GCSEs are graded 9 to 1 rather than A star to G. For many secondary school pupils, the options process is either clear or daunting, and this is because they've either engaged in prior conversations with parents, carers or friends, or they haven't thought about their future. Pupils are asked to consider their future now and therefore need our support and guidance to select an effective subject choice. Options is regarded as the first adult decision pupils need to consider, and I am confident that together we will support your son or daughter to achieve their full potential. For some pupils, this decision can be overwhelming, and now more than ever in our current situation, our current climate, this makes the options process more important than ever before.
So, as Ms Gite has pointed out, this is a really important part of your journey at Heathcote. And at Heathcote, we're very proud to offer you a broad range of GCSE and vocational options. We really understand that, like so many things, this process would be far better if we were able to see you in person and talk to you. And obviously, normally we have an options evening where parents and pupils are able to come in and speak to heads of departments, teachers and pupils that are following those subjects and really try and find out what those courses look like, what they'll be doing and the kind of pathways and careers that you can have. However, we can't do that, but we are here to support you 100%. And I hope you find that all the resources on the website will be really useful to you. What we have is an options booklet and videos from all the subjects, enabling you to start those conversations with your parents, carers and families in order to make sure that you make the right decisions. I know it's a really daunting prospect. You're going to be coming back to school and many of you will have gaps in your learning. But making sure that we engage you back in learning quickly with the right choices, which are well thought out, is really the key to your success over Year 10 and Year 11, meaning that by the time you get to the end of Year 11, the situation is no different to that than it would have been if there hadn't been a pandemic. So, a little bit of context for you, just so that we're all clear. Key Stage 4 refers to the years at school where pupils study GCSE or equivalent courses. Now, most schools do this in 2 years. Some schools still choose to do it in 3, with pupils choosing options in Year 8. This isn't popular with Ofsted, and we don't actually believe it's right. We prefer pupils to follow a really broad and balanced curriculum in Year 7 and Year 9, and that actually 2 years is the right amount of time to make sure that pupils choose their subjects to study in Year 10 and 11. Our results are improving significantly, so we also know that that is the right time to enable pupils to absolutely reach their potential. So, what do pupils have to study? Well, again, this is the same all over the country. All pupils in England have to study maths, English language and literature, and science. And in science, there is a choice. A number of students will do the core science, which ends up as 2 GCSE options. Some pupils those who really feel that they have an interest and skill in science will choose to do triple science, and that will take up one of the option choices. It really is quite a challenging course, and so it's really, really important that there is enough time to make sure that all three subjects, chemistry, biology and physics, are fully covered. So if you do choose triple science, that will take up one of your option choices. All pupils at Key Stage 4 also follow core PE, although that's not an examined subject unless you choose it as a GCSE or a Cambridge National, and also PI, which some of you will remember as PSHCRE. You're not examined on this and you don't have a lesson in it, but this will be taught to you through drop-down days and tutor time. Some of you will choose to take citizenship as an option, and this does cover some of the same content as the PI curriculum. What this table shows you is the amount of time over Key Stage 4 that you'll be studying these certain subjects. So we'll be working still on a 2-week timetable, week A and week B, and it's been a long time since we've had a normal timetable. But just to let you know, from September 2021, there will be 25 periods each week, week A and week B, and that'll be 5-hour-long lessons a day. So what you can see in this slide is the number of periods over those 2 weeks that will be dedicated to particular subjects. So English, Maths, Science and PE, and then the options A, B, C and D. And you can also see there the percentage and the minutes a week which are devoted to these subjects. I'm going to talk to you now about the EBAC. Many of you may have heard the term EBAC bandied around, but not be absolutely clear about what the EBAC is. So the EBAC stands for English Baccalaureate, and it's made up of GCSE subjects which are considered essential to many degrees and open up lots of doors for young people. There's lots of studies and research to suggest that studying the subjects in the EBAC provides students with greater opportunities in further education and also increase the likelihood that a pupil will stay on in education for longer. Other research shows that studying the EBAC during Year 10 and 11 can also help improve results in English and Maths. The EBAC is very, very strongly encouraged by the government, and they actually have a current target of 90% of pupils to follow this route by 2025. We are encouraging each and every one of you to aim high and commit to studying these subjects for the reasons that I've given you on the slide beforehand. So what do you have to do to qualify for the EBAC? Well, it means following certain subjects as part of your option choices, which add to the core that you study already. So, to gain the EBAC qualification, you would need to be studying mathematics, English language and/or literature, which you do anyway, and at least 2 sciences, which everybody would be doing. And then some of you will be taking triple science as well, and computer science also counts in that too. In addition to that, you would also need to study a humanities subject, either history or geography, and a language, and in this school that's normally French or Spanish. And to achieve the official EBAC qualification, all your final grades would need to be at a 9 to 5. But even if you didn't make that in all of your subjects, there is still plenty of evidence to suggest that studying those subjects really enable you with your future. When I spoke to a number of Year 9 pupils as part of a focus group before we put this presentation and process together, a number of them expressed that they were really, really anxious about following a language. They were fine about the humanities, but they felt particularly after a pandemic that they had fallen behind in languages. Now, I would really, really encourage pupils to seriously consider this option. And the reason for that is some schools in the borough and nationally make this compulsory for their pupils. That's not something we're currently doing at Heathcote. However, I don't want any of you to lose out. I want there to be a level playing field and for you to have the same chances and opportunities as pupils all over the country and locally. More than ever, there's going to be competition for universities and apprenticeships, and I want to be absolutely clear that you have the same chances. Therefore, I would really, really encourage you to consider taking a humanities and a language in addition to your core subjects. We're really, really hoping that every pupil that chooses French and Spanish will have an opportunity to go abroad on a trip as part of the course in year 10 and 11. Now, obviously, that might not be possible because of the pandemic, but we really hope that'll be the case. And that should really help you to give you the confidence in those areas. Our language results are good and improving. And so I'd really encourage you to really consider that option. We will talk to pupils if they don't choose a language to really make sure that you understand that. But I would really, really encourage it. And again, I'm happy to talk to you further about that. Do please contact myself, Ms Gite, Mr Hutchins, or tutors, or even the languages department to really make sure that you understand the advantages of studying a language, but also making sure that you meet the EBAC criteria. So, how do you find out what subjects you can choose? Well, in the options booklet, which you'll find on the website, there is a list of all the subjects that you can choose. And also, there are videos for each and every subject. So what you need to start doing now is sitting down with your family, your parents, and really, really discussing, looking at that information and really thinking about what would suit you. We offer a really broad and balanced curriculum. But some of the subjects that we offer are limited in size, and that might be for all sorts of reasons. It might be about the number of staff we have available in school. It might be about subjects that perhaps haven't always got the results that we want, so we are limiting those until we really see those results improve. There are 3 new subjects that you haven't studied before that are on offer, and those are sociology, business, and dance. Now, new subjects are always really popular. And when you actually quiz pupils a bit more and say, well, why have you chosen business, for example? They say, oh, well, because it's new. It's something different. Please, please don't choose subjects just because they're new. And those subjects, there is only one class running for each of those 3 subjects. So if there are too many people who choose those, we will be having conversations with those pupils and families and really trying to get an understanding as to why we've chosen them and that there are really, really good reasons for doing that. There are only 2 subjects in school that we limit pupil choice to, and that's because they really are quite challenging academically, and we need to be sure that pupils have got the capacity in those areas to study those subjects. Those subjects are triple science and computer science, and those heads of department will be letting you know whether or not they feel that your child is able to take those subjects. If you're not sure, please, again, don't hesitate to get in touch with the heads of department of those subjects. That's Dr. Farrier in science and Mr. Henry in charge of computer science. Or again, please feel free to contact Mr. Hutchins, Ms Gite, or myself. So what happens next is that we will send you a form later in the process. And again, we'll look at the timeline at the end of this presentation. And that form will consist of 4 blocks. Block A, Block B, Block C, and Block D. And what pupils need to do is choose a first choice from each block and then a second choice from each block. What happens then is we put that all into a computer system and it will work out whether or not we have the right numbers in those subjects to make sure that we can offer the right curriculum with the right numbers. Now, not everybody is going to get their first choices. We've had a really good hit rate in the past, and most people have been really, really satisfied with the choices that they've got. But what we will do once we get your forms back in, and again, we'll look at that timeline shortly, is we will ring you up, talk to you, offer Zoom calls, have those discussions that we'd normally have face-to-face, but to really talk and make sure we've got the right options for people and make sure it fits in with the blocks as well. When you look at the booklet in more detail, you will see that there is a pathway for students who have special educational needs or who find traditional learning more difficult. Some pupils, a very small number, will choose to go to college or alternative provision during 10 and 11. And that's particularly if they're interested in a particularly vocational career. For example, they want a career in cookery or chefing, or they might want to do something that is better taught at college. If you're interested in that for your child, and it will just be a small number, please make sure you contact Mr. Hutchins about that. But once we have details of the courses that are on offer locally, we will also be contacting you. Children with special educational needs, we try and make a really, really bespoke and personal timetable for those people. So please don't worry if you see the blocks when they come out and you see the subjects and you're actually anxious about your child managing to take 4 full subjects. What we do is we talk to children with special educational needs via Ms Gardner and her team in a lot more detail. And once we're clear about what those pupils want to do, we put together bespoke programmes for them. So, for example, this year, there are a number of pupils in Year 10 who are not doing the full 4 options. They're doing 2, and then they're doing an additional 2 subjects that are not actually part of the option blocks. So one of those this year is a Prince's Trust and Study Support course, which is there to help with general life skills, but also support with the other subjects. And then also we have a group doing a level 1 cookery and food hygiene course, also enabling those pupils to develop really, really good life skills. So please don't panic if you're worried about your child coping with the full 4 options. As I say, Miss Gardner will be in touch with you and she will talk you through the options that are on offer. It might take a little bit longer to get your options sorted out, but we absolutely want to make sure that you have a really, really good choice for Year 10 and 11. A few warnings here. So nothing is guaranteed until after the summer half term, when we're absolutely clear about the staffing that we'll have in September. As I've said before, not everybody's going to get their first choices in all blocks, but please don't worry. We will make sure that we work in partnership with you. And feedback last year showed that pupils and parents were really satisfied with their choices. All your decisions should be based on your own child, not friends' choices. It's really, really important that those decisions are made for really, really good reasons and not because your son or daughter's friends are doing them. At this stage, really the best thing you can hope for at GCSE is a broad and balanced set of options, because any real specialism can be done at A-level or BTEC at the next stages. And as I've said before, we hope that most of you stay on here at the 6th form so we can really help you to pick the right pathways. Most pupils at this point don't have firm career choices, and we wouldn't expect them to. And so the most important thing to do is to reach your potential in a broad range of subjects. There are some exceptions to that. For example, if you're absolutely clear that you or your child might want to explore a career in medicine or veterinary science, for example, then obviously it would be a really good idea to pick triple science if you're particularly interested on a particular career pathway. Again, please, if you're not sure, ask us. We are here for you. You can contact me, you can contact Ms Gite, you can contact Mr Hutchins, Ms Gardner, or you can contact the heads of departments of particular subjects who'll be able to give you more details about career pathways. Much of this information, however, is in the options booklet and in the videos. So please make sure that your first step is actually watching those together as a family and having really good discussions.
It is vital that choices selected are right for pupils to achieve their full potential. Pupils need to ensure they are interested in the subject and that the subject will aid their intended career path. It is okay for pupils not to know what they want to be or what they want to develop. However, it is imperative that pupils leave Year 11 with the best version of themselves. Avoid selecting subjects that your friends are taking, because we know from Year 7 and Year 8 friendship groups tend to change. I'd also add, avoid selecting subjects based on someone else's opinion. Students have had the opportunity to study these subjects from Year 7 up until now, and as a result, we are very confident that students will be able to achieve their maximum and their full potential.
So, the next steps for you as a family. The final slide in a moment will give you the email addresses and contact details of anybody that you might need to speak to. But these dates are really important, so please have a look at these very carefully. So today, the 11th of February, obviously the presentations and the booklet go live on the website, and you need to take the time over half term or the weeks afterwards to really have those good conversations and get that information and contact key people at school if you need to. On Friday, the 5th of March, subject to anything major changing nationally with the pandemic, we will issue those option block forms to you with the 7 subjects in each of those blocks to enable you to make those choices. We'll give you a week then to return those to the school. At that point, you can request to have a further meeting with us in school if you're concerned about the fact that your child can't choose the options that they want to, or you've got any other questions and queries. After that, when we've got those forms back, we put them all into the computer, let the computer do its magic, and then we will contact you individually where we feel that perhaps choices aren't the wisest, or that perhaps you haven't chosen the EBAC route when we believe that you really should do, or that actually we can't offer you the choices that you've chosen. Those conversations normally lead to really, really good solutions. Those will also be when those conversations with targeted special needs pupils and also those who perhaps want to go to college will take place. And then what we hope to do by the 7th of May is send out to you those draft offers. So as I've said, nothing is final for the second half of the summer term, but those draft offers that say actually, yeah, subject to everything going right and no surprise people leaving, then these are the GCSE subjects or BTEC subjects that we will be offering you. I do hope that's helped you to navigate your way through this process. Please don't panic. We are here for you 100%. And although we can't do it face to face, things don't need to be any different. We are more ambitious for you as a year group than anybody else. This is a perfect opportunity for you to start new courses. The world will hopefully be in a lot more optimistic position by then, and that over the next 2 years, you can get the very, very best results this school has ever had, and make sure that actually we look back and you realise that the pandemic hasn't affected your education and hasn't affected your life chances. So, wishing you lots of fun, good conversations, and the very best of luck during the process. As I've explained, the next slide will show you the details of staff that you can contact in school. And good luck, and we're here for you if we need it. Thanks very much for listening.